Thugjitsu Master and the Squid.
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 All right. So, PFL action, commentator Mr. Eve Edwards here. We're coming up on our third event of the season, right?
Third event of the season. It's the first round. So this is the first round for the lightweights. I'm sorry, the light heavyweights and the heavyweights.
Big boys.
Big boys.
200,
big guys.
200 plus pound men.
That smart cage is going to have to be very smart to hold up all that body weight. And speaking of the smart cage and the light heavyweights and heavyweights, we got two great guests today. And our first guest is a finalist from last season. Finished all of his fights up until the finals and looked dominant in all those fights, and then had an epic war with the eventual champion, Sean O'Connell. And we're bringing in the dangerous, always dangerous on the mat, and now he's dangerous on his feet also, Vinny Magalhaes. What's up, Vinny? How you doing, brother?
Good. How about you?
Good, man. Very good.
Don't even try it anymore. It just doesn't work.
No? Okay, for everybody out here, Vinny, pronounce your name for our viewers.
Magalhaes.
Magalhaes. I'm gonna call you Vinny Magalhaes.
Yeah, you got
that's fine too.
Vinny Magalhaes.
I like saying your name in the broadcast, so that'll be fun because you usually don't give us a lot of time to say your name though. I mean, last season. That's Vinny.
Actually,
busy
my daughter
man.
called.
What, are you getting some calls late at night? Somebody give you a booty call, Vinny?
We lost Vinny.
Lost Vinny to a booty call.
I think he got lost to the phone call. We will call him right back, right?
Yeah, let's call Vinny back.
Get him right back. Let's see. Make sure we look over. Hello.
Vinny Magalhaes.
I thought just like all of your matches last season, we're going to have the shortest interview of ever, too. It's going to be
right?
short fights, short interviews. He's just in and out. He doesn't even... Why do an interview longer than your actual fights?
Yeah, why get your feet wet, Vinny?
Sorry, dude. Like, somebody was trying to call me on FaceTime, and it's actually logged in on my computer too. So.
No, it's okay. It's all good. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, your fights last season, once again, were amazing. You submitted everybody in the first round, just constantly in this regular season, racking up 12 quick points. And then in the semifinals, ran through both guys with 2 Kimuras. How's your jiu-jitsu game so strong, Vinny? How did you bring that jiu-jitsu game to the sport of MMA? Because you see a lot of great guys in jiu-jitsu, but when they come to MMA, their game changes. And over time, you've only improved your MMA game, but you've kept your jiu-jitsu as the focal point of your style.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of guys have it, like overall game, like it's not easy to adapt like into MMA. Like when you're a jiu-jitsu guy, we don't have like the best like takedown like instructions in class. Now when you're training just jiu-jitsu, when you come for jiu-jitsu school, some school don't even like show takedowns, or when they shows like it's not really like a wrestling takedowns. It's mostly judo. It's kind of half-assed. It's not much like that crispy like technique that you get like in wrestling, the wrestling room. And but for me, it's like when it goes to the ground, it is jiu-jitsu. There's no such a thing. Well, that's once you go to the ground, it's a fight. You can get punched, yeah, but if you can use jiu-jitsu without punches, you should be able to use jiu-jitsu with punches. And the biggest thing I noticed with other people, and I'll talk about myself, is that a lot of people, like, there are jiu-jitsu black belts, they feel comfortable on their own top, and most of them like have a like horrible game on their own, like on their other back. It's almost like I don't want to be here. I don't feel comfortable here. And if you're a jiu-jitsu black belt, you should feel comfortable anywhere on the ground. When you're on the ground, it's grappling. It's a grappling match. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't know how to defend yourself. You shouldn't know how to use your submission game. You shouldn't know how to use your sweeps. You should just be comfortable there. Because if it was a jiu-jitsu match, you would be comfortable, right? So it's no different. And especially when you get to compete at the highest level, I've competed against like some of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world, and I've beat some of them. And if I feel comfortable going against these guys, there's nobody in MMA that can actually be a threat on the ground. So why would I be worried about those guys? You know, so for me, top, bottom, you're on the ground, you're playing jiu-jitsu.
So when you're on bottom and punches are being thrown, I mean, for me, I'm an MMA guy. I train jiu-jitsu. I'm a black belt. My black belt is nowhere near your level. But for me, when I'm on my back, the punches change the game. Is that not the same for you?
I don't think so. I think it's a mindset type of thing too. You know, I feel comfortable there. As long as it's on the ground, it's good for me. You know, top, bottom, side, whatever it is. If both of us are playing 50-50, whatever it is, like it's ground. And also, it's like I also got to be like, hey, it's the mind game too. Like, I'm not competing against like world class black belts like in MMA, you know. So yeah, they can throw a punch, but like, does that punch make them like, you know, better than me on the ground? It's not the case most of the time, you know. Can I punch rock me? Yes, you can. Like when I fought what's his name, the Russian dude. He took a couple like everything, so I was like, fuck man, that sucked, you know. He was not one of those that got me like dizzy or anything, but if it would do hard punches, but at the same time, like I didn't stop my transition just because I was getting hit. What I noticed with most jiu-jitsu people, they take a hit and they just like, you know, they go 1 or 2 steps back. They just give up whatever they're doing. For me, it's different. If I'm taking a hit, I might as well just keep going with what I'm doing, make it happen. And I think that's the biggest difference. And also that's the approach that I try to like make my students take too. Is like, well, you know, you cannot go half-fast into a move. If you're gonna go under somebody's leg to go for a sweep, go all the way into that move. You cannot just think that you cannot get it. If you have not tried 100%, you don't know if you're gonna get it or not. So that's how I kind of approach, like, you know, like my any situation on the ground, top or bottom. It's like, well, I'm on my back, but if I try to do this, I might be able to get what I want. But if I just give up and just start to cover up, nothing's gonna happen. So I always take my chances, and I feel like, you know, I feel so far. Every time I go to the ground, I feel pretty comfortable. I might not always get finishes like when I go to the ground, but I feel like, and I don't take a lot of damages either.
Yeah, you don't. It's when they say there's levels to this. I mean, like your level of jiu-jitsu is very high, and I appreciate it. You've come a long way also since The Ultimate Fighter. I just got to say congratulations on getting so much better and keeping your jiu-jitsu at such a high level, man.
Yeah, I think we
just got better since the Ultimate Fighter. I was actually like, so my treadmill at home is right in front of my the Ultimate Fighter pulser. And the other day, literally, I was running, just tripping, dude. If I fought that guy there, and I was looking at my pictures, like if I fought that guy there, I would just smash that dude anywhere. And I was like, it's not even like I would have beat him like with striking. I would probably beat like myself with the jiu-jitsu too. My jiu-jitsu is now so much better than it was 10 years ago with the Ultimate Fighter. So it's like, you know, yes, I've got better as a fighter, like overall game, like takedowns, like striking. But my jiu-jitsu now, even for MMA, it's so much better than it was that time.
And last season we saw you in the finals, Sean O'Connell, epic fight. He's not back this season. And is there any adjustments that you're making this season? Because I think a lot of people understand if you're fighting Vinny Magalhaes, the blueprint is going to be don't go to the ground, keep the fight standing. Are there any adjustments that you're going to make from that match, or is
I don't have to make adjustments. And that's not like me being like ignorant or anything. I don't have to make adjustments. How long did it take my first 4 fights to be finished, like on the ground?
Total? 3
Are you
minutes.
gonna get your Sean's fight like after you guys answer me like these questions? So like, how long did it take like for each fight to be finished?
Total, it was under 4 minutes for all the fights.
Average 100, like 1 minute 29 seconds per like fight average. That was average time, right?
Correct.
So I had like Sean on the ground on the first round. Like there was still like 3 minutes left in that fight in that round, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I had his back. I had mount. I took his back twice in that fight. I took him down. So it's not like a lack of a ground game. Look at the fight again. Did Sean escape any move that I went for? Did I escape a submission? No. There was submission attempt, a clear submission attempt.
Right.
There wasn't. So and now look at my track record and what I was just telling you guys like a couple minutes ago. I go against high-level grapplers. I've beat some of them when it goes to the ground. From the ground game, fight or grappling is the same. So again, I don't like make it like I don't even like bring that up because I was gonna start an excuse. But I had like a serious injury like 3 weeks before the fight. I didn't even know if I was gonna be able to do this to do this season. It was a neck injury. It was not just like, well, oh, it hurt my arm. I can deal with pain. I dealt with pain through the whole season, by the way. I went to the playoffs with a shoulder injury, which was just pain. I can deal with that. When you get warmed up, shit happens. But with the neck was different. I was not feeling my arm. I went there just like take my chance. You know, I couldn't get a squeeze. I couldn't like, so let's say I hold him down from, let's say he gets in turtle position, I hold him down with my right. I can now not punch with my left because I have no strength on my left. Now I go to the other, let's punch with the right. Now I can hold him with my left because I have no strength on my left. So it was not the situation. I can fight Sean like 10 times. I'll beat him 10 times from 100%. It's just like, it was just take him down. It was just take his back. You just like, shit happens. Good for him. As a matter of fact, I had like, you know, there was so PFL was posting something about Vinny like finishing all his fights. And then Sean, like, you know, after he's already retired, he made his money that he should be happy for himself. And like super thankful too, you know, like, dude, you know, he was not even supposed to win. If you look at it, nobody thought he was gonna win. Nobody thought he was gonna even make that far, let alone like fight me and win. And then so PFL posts something to advertise the event this year, and he goes, almost trying to be sarcastic, like saying like, oh, I didn't finish. And I was like, then I had to send like a private message to Sean, like, check this out. So I sent all the text messages between my doctors 3 weeks before the fight. So it was not something that I came up, oh, I'm gonna go to the doctor after the fight, make up all these kind of excuses. So I had like a spinal stenosis, which was affecting like my movement on my arm. I had like 3 bulge discs on my neck, and that was training with Zeke, one of the heavyweights that's joined the season now. The guy's 300 pounds. And, you know, 3 weeks before the fight, I couldn't run. I couldn't do anything. Yes, I got tired. It might have been because I couldn't do cardio properly. It might have been because I couldn't do certain things. I couldn't train full speed. And then again, I still went there. I was able to win the first round. Didn't win the fight. No, it didn't. But, like, you know, that alone, not being 100%, definitely was a factor in the fight.
What percent are you at now? What's your percentage now? What's the 2019 Vinny? Are you at 100%?
I'm 100%. Physically, I'm 100%.
Are you going to be able to maintain?
I wouldn't join this if I wasn't 100%. I cannot afford to take a loss again, especially back-to-back, and I cannot afford not to make it in the final again and win this year. It's just like, you know, my plan was a 2-year plan, and from that point on, I would, like, you know, think what I was going to do next. And unfortunately, my first year was kind of a waste. And so let's see how this year goes. It's not like I'm planning on retiring at the end of the year. I'm not Sean O'Connell. You know, I'm just like, I love fighting. As long as I'm healthy, I'll do it. As long as I feel like my body can take, I'll do it. But it's just like, you know, unfortunately, that's what happened last year. And then again, I didn't even like to bring that up. It's always going to sound like an excuse, but people need to know the facts too. And it's like, the facts are pretty clear based on that first round. Again, 3 minutes I had to finish that fight. I had his back for like 2 or 3 minutes or so. It's, again, he didn't escape a submission. Think about that. It's not like I locked something, he scrambled to get out. I just couldn't attack. I did not attack a submission.
You started the season at 100% last season. You say, is that what you're saying also? Last season you started 100%?
Oh, I started 100%, like halfway through, like I was after my second fight, after that fight against, what's his name, dude? The wrestler dude.
Brendan Halsey. Brendan Halsey.
Yeah. Halsey. So after that fight, I don't know if you guys remember, I did that dumb RKO with my corner, like just dropping with a wrestling move. And boom, now I hurt my neck a little bit. But that wasn't bad. That wasn't not even like it wasn't not really an injury. But like, you know, I kept like the first week I took it slow, and then I started to feel just my shoulder from overuse. It was not like it wasn't real injury. That's why I said, like, you know, once I would get warmed up, I was fine. Like, if you deal with some pain on the shoulder, nobody goes to a fight 100%. That's the whole thing. You know, you've had like multiple fights. You know how it goes. Nobody ever goes to a fight 100%. There's always some issue. You know, it could be like you got a cold like halfway through camp because you're overtrained, or you know, you got to like you kicked somebody, got a bruise on your shin. Something like you never go 100% to a fight. But like, you know, I'm as close to be as 100% as I was last year when I first started the season. And again, any other injury that I've had like throughout the season last year was nothing compared to what I had like, you know, 3 weeks before the final. Nothing. That was like a real thing.
So Vinny, do you believe that, or do you now have the knowledge and having the experience of fighting last season? Do you know what it's going to take to stay healthy come New Year's? Should you make it to the finals again?
Oh, one second. Well, you know, it was just like an unfortunate thing. It was 3 weeks before the championship. Like, it's not like at that point. Maybe I approached the training like the wrong way, like towards the end. I shouldn't be training with heavyweights, you know. Maybe I should be a little bit smarter, like, you know, with people that I train with. Maybe I should be a little bit smarter, like, you know, with the sort of moves that I'm going to be attempting training. Because at that point, it was just about like stay in shape. It's not even about getting in shape. Because like I was telling you guys last year, the whole time I was not taking days off. Literally, like I would fight on a Thursday and fly back home Friday, and Saturday I'd be back in the gym. So I was not taking any days off. My day off was literally like the travel back home. So, that did not even feel like, as far as like how me being healthy and not getting enough rest, I felt like I was having enough rest. One day for me was just feeling like enough. It was just like an unfortunate thing that happened. So I don't feel like I have to like be a little bit smart about like, knowing how to rest, when to rest and things like that. It wasn't about that. It was an accident. Things happen.
So
But
do you
I got the experience now, that's like my second year. I know exactly how to approach training. And I feel like maybe a couple of days off would be a little bit smarter than just like one day. Maybe like, I'll take one whole week just to focus on like maybe like strength conditioning and stop like sparring for a week or something. You got the time. You got about like 10 weeks or 8 weeks from one fight to the other. So you do have enough time to, take our breaks.
do you feel that if you would have fought anybody else from last season in the finals, you would have won?
Or I could have lost. The way I was, I could have lost too. It's one of those things. Like I think to be honest with you, man, Sean was probably the best matchup I could have got. Like in that, out of the 12 guys had last year, there was literally like he was probably like the best guy. Like that with not a lot of like ground skills. He's a brawler, which which means that it's not going to be surprising with striking. You know exactly what to expect. So I don't think like being anybody else who could have been different with even with Sean. Like to be honest, my approach to that fight, like after the first round, was like try to be lucky, and that's not the best approach. None of my fights I won by being lucky in that last season, and then from in that final, my mindset was like I got to be lucky. Maybe I had to land something to knock him out because I didn't feel like I could bring my best and do what I do best. I couldn't grapple. So like, how are you gonna get the best grappler who's definitely like I'm not a pure grappler, but it's like, dude, that's what I feel 100% comfortable. And how are you gonna have that guy not bring his best? Like, it has to like work with like playing B or C, and that was kind of my approach to that fight. So it was a kind of like a tough situation. So it could be anybody. To be honest, I could have had tougher fights in the final too. I could have got knocked out first round if I had fought other people. You never know.
How long are you going to fight for next week? Is it a minute and a half? What are we expecting here?
I don't call numbers. I never even called numbers for like last year. Like, ideally first round finish. And I'm just thinking like, you never know. So, maybe get a little bruise in this fight. So it's more about like, well, if you guarantee 6 points in the first round, I believe that you already guarantee spots in the playoff.
Yep.
So you can, whatever happens, if the second fight doesn't happen for whatever reason, you're already in the playoffs. So you can take a couple months off if you have to recover for the playoffs, which are the fights that matter the most, including the plus the final. So I'm just looking to get a first round finish. But as far as time, the quicker the better too. So, that also helped me last year as far as staying like as number one. But it doesn't matter, man. Like I believe that this year the guys are a lot tougher. The overall group, it's like a lot tougher than last year. They brought some really good guys, like experienced guys. There were guys that I've fought before. And it's it could be a completely different. And maybe I'm gonna win every fight by decision this year. But as long as I win, that's what matters.
You're facing Emiliano Sordi in the first round for the light heavyweights. And Emiliano is also, we only saw him once last year, and he was only in there for, 24 seconds? Something like that?
He fought twice. He fought
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, in the playoffs. That's
yes.
right.
Butcher. He fought Butcher, and then he got a quick KO, right? Like 20 seconds, like I said.
Yep.
But then he fought a Buzgit like in the quarterfinal before he fought Buzgit like in the semifinal. And it was also somehow a quick fight for Buzgit though. He won. He threw like I think it was a right hand and caught like Emiliano. The Emiliano starts to like check himself, see if he was hurt.
Yep.
Then just kept getting hit.
Yep. But you both have that quick start kind of attitude, kind of personality, kind of mentality in there. You both go out there and try to finish early, but you try to finish with different tools. You're more grappling based, and he's more striking based. So, how does this fight play out?
If I knew I was going to ask you to sign my check, not if I knew every single fight. No, I don't know. Like it's I don't try to like make anything a surprise. Like for it's pretty obvious what I want to do. But it's no different than what I want to do with Magalhaes. I want to grapple him. I want to take him to the ground. We expect him to take me down. Like I felt like if he, as a wrestler, he could take me down. I would still finish him. But everybody knows what I want to do. I want to take the fight to the ground. And then here's the thing: it's not just about like because of what I do best, but also like I feel like that will allow me to have like a longer career too. Even though I've been fighting for almost like 13 years now. Like I said, as long as my body allows me to fight, I want to fight for as long as I can. Not up until like 40, 41. I'm not one of those guys. But if I can get another 2 or 3 years, like to stay in like in the sport, I would love to. And I feel like my fighting style, like if I can just grapple people, that will allow me to like fight for longer. So that's exactly what I want to do. I want to take him down, finish the fight, not get hurt, not take brain damage, ideally, and get another quick finish on the ground. So there's no surprise. Now I'm not gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna just trade punches with him until the end, and hopefully win, fight of the night in 15 minutes of like punching and kicking. That's not my style. It's not. If it happens, it happens. If you like, if that's the fight that people force me to take, like let's say I cannot take him down, I'm forced to stand up for like 15 minutes. It's gonna happen, but that's not the ideal for me.
Sweet.
Okay, Vinny, I got
Sure.
one more for you.
Yeah,
I got
one more.
one more
Yeah,
question
one more.
for you. If you could get it back, would you fight Sean again? Would you want that fight back?
Here's the thing. It's like I said, the bracket overall, like now the 12 guys like in this season, like I feel like the group like it's a lot tougher now. So you would have to look like I would have to be looking past like 5 fights since Sean's not one of the possible fights, right? So I would have to be looking up to like winning 5 fights. But dude, I literally like so Sean's actually part of the event, right? He sits like ringside. I would literally call him out if I won this belt. I would call him out. I would throw my check. Like I would fight him for my check. I would literally fight for my check. And if he doesn't want to actually fight, like get ready for a fight, you can fight in the background. You can fight like backstage for a check for my check. I'll just sign my check to him.
I like
It's
that.
almost like nothing personal. I just felt like I need to prove him that, especially when he starts to get to that conversation, like, oh yeah, like not everyone. It's almost like you went from like I was happy for the guy to like, dude, now you're just like you're not even fighting anymore. You're retired. Stop shit talking. You're not in that position, Because here's the thing. He was like, you know what I went through my mind. So what I'm gonna do? So I made it like up to that point, I made almost like a couple $100,000, like kind of like regular season and the playoffs. I was like, oh, that's good money. But dude, when I got into the season last year, I was like, fuck, man, I owed money. So a lot of the money went to like pay my dad. So like now I'm like debt free, and part of the money went away, and I had to buy some stuff too. I bought a new car. Then I talked about buying the car, like first fight. So I bought the car, and so I was like, dude, it's almost like I didn't run out of the money at that point, but I was like, I'm not an extra, $100,000 check or potentially another like $900,000 check. That's gonna make a huge difference. So I took my chance because, in my honest opinion, if you had Bazigi replacing me and fighting Sean, you would be too unfair to have Bazigi taking the big check because he was gonna beat Sean again and have Sean as a runner-up who earned his spot to be there and to fight me and me with nothing. I would just like, hey, just be watching fight like maybe like ringside. Good job, you got free tickets. So I took my chance. It's almost like, it was good for myself. At least I made another like 100K. It was good for Sean. He was able to walk out of that, the day with 900,000. And Bazigi didn't earn his spot. He got finished. I finished him. So he should not be fighting that final. And he also got 10 grand just for making weight that night. So good for everyone. Everybody should be happy for that weekend.
Just spread the love. Just spread it all around. All right, Vinny.
Right?
That's
the worst part. So Bazigi, just by not fighting, just by making weight, he made 10 grand. Me, if I had not fought, I would have made nothing, not even 10 grand. So it's like, dude, I took my chance. It was just like I had to do it. I just had to do it.
Understood. Well, Vinny, man, thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait to see you fight coming up. Looking forward to seeing how you do this season. Maybe see you in the finals again, my man.
Yes, good luck.
I gotta win. Being the final again is not a thing anymore.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Vinny.
Thanks a
We'll
lot,
see
Vinny.
you in just a few days.
Sounds good. See you guys later. Thank you.
Peace out.
Yes, my man.